In the far reaches of the galaxy, on a desolate and barren planet, a young human girl lay alone among the wreckage of a crashed spaceship. Her name was Elara, and her situation was dire. The ship's systems had failed, and she had been stranded in a place where no one was coming to rescue her. Elara was barely 15, with dark brown hair that was now tangled and dirty. Her clothes, once neat and tidy, were now torn and smeared with dust. The alien sun beat down mercilessly on her, and the landscape stretched out in endless dunes of grayish sand and jagged rocks. The air was thin and dry, making it difficult for her to breathe. She had been part of a diplomatic mission, sent to negotiate peace with an alien race known for their hostility. But something had gone terribly wrong. The ship had been attacked, and Elara had barely managed to escape in a small pod. When the pod landed, she was alone. Her communication devices were broken, and she had no way to contact anyone. Days passed, and Elara's situation grew more desperate. She had scrounged for scraps of food from the wreckage and tried to find water in the parched landscape, but it was not enough. The creatures of the planet, large and aggressive, roamed freely, and she had to hide from them to avoid becoming their prey. Despite her dire circumstances, Elara's spirit remained unbroken. She built a small shelter from the remnants of her ship, using whatever materials she could find. She worked tirelessly, hoping that someone somewhere would come looking for her. But as the days turned into weeks, her hope began to wane. One day, while searching for food, Elara stumbled upon a group of alien explorers. They had landed nearby in a sleek, advanced spacecraft. Her heart raced with hope. Maybe they could help her. But as she approached, she was met with harsh laughter. The aliens, their eyes cold and dismissive, looked at her with disdain. "Why should we help her?" one of them sneered. "She's just a weak human." They turned their backs on her, leaving her to face the harsh reality of her situation once more. The explorers flew off in their ship, leaving Elara feeling even more abandoned and alone. As the sun set over the horizon, casting long shadows over the desolate landscape, Elara curled up in her makeshift shelter. She was alone, with no one to turn to and no hope of rescue. The harsh environment was unforgiving, but her will to survive was stronger than ever. She knew that if she was going to make it, she would have to rely on her own strength and determination. Little did she know that her fortunes were about to change in ways she could never have imagined. The girl's struggle. The harsh days on the alien planet seemed to stretch endlessly for Elara. Each day brought new challenges, and every night was filled with the uncertainty of survival. The planet's extreme environment made her struggle even harder. The temperatures soared during the day, and at night it became bitterly cold. Elara's makeshift shelter provided little protection against the elements. She woke up every morning with a sense of dread, knowing that she had to search for food and water if she wanted to stay alive. The alien planet had very little vegetation. What little she could find was often toxic or inedible. She had tried several times to eat some strange plants, only to end up sick and weak. Her only source of water was a small, dirty puddle she had found near the wreckage of her spaceship. She had to filter it using makeshift tools she created from scraps. Even so, the water was never enough to fully quench her thirst. Dehydration and exhaustion began to take their toll, making every movement feel like a struggle. Elara's only respite came when she managed to find some small edible creatures crawling through the sand. They were not much, but they were enough to give her the strength to keep going. She had learned to catch them with her bare hands, a skill she never thought she would need. Her survival instincts had sharpened, and she became more adept at navigating the hostile terrain. One night, as she huddled in her shelter, a pack of large predatory creatures came close to her hideout. Their growls and roars echoed through the darkness. Elara held her breath, trying to stay as still as possible. She knew if they discovered her, she would be their next meal. The creatures sniffed around, but thankfully they moved on, leaving her heart pounding in her chest. The isolation was also taking the psychological toll. Ilara missed the familiar comforts of her old life and the warmth of human company. The silence of the alien planet was overwhelming, and she often found herself talking to herself just to break the solitude. Her only consolation was a small locket she wore around her neck, a gift from her family. It was a reminder of her past life and the hope that someday someone would come to rescue her. Despite the overwhelming odds, Ilara's determination never wavered. She had faced abandonment and hardship, but her spirit remained strong. Each day was a battle, but she fought it with a fierce will to survive. As she looked up at the stars each night, she clung to the hope that somehow, somewhere, someone would notice her plight and come to her aid. Introduction to the Primal Alien. In the remote wilderness of the alien planet, far from the settlements of more advanced species, a different kind of being roamed. This being was known as the Primal Alien, a species both feared and revered by those who knew of it. Unlike the more technologically advanced races, the Primal Alien thrived on raw power and instinct. The Primal Alien was a towering figure, standing well over 8 feet tall. Its body was covered in thick, dark scales that provided both protection and a fearsome appearance. Massive claws extended from its hands and feet, capable of tearing through the toughest materials. Its eyes were fierce and golden, reflecting the harsh light of the alien sun. Its most striking feature was a pair of curved horns that swept back from its forehead, giving it an almost mythical appearance. This alien species lived in the planet's most hostile environments, far from the relative safety of the settled regions. They were solitary creatures, preferring to live apart from the more organized and structured alien societies. The Primal Alien's strength and combat skills made it a formidable force, often called upon to handle situations where sheer power was needed. The Primal Alien was not just a brute force, it was also highly intelligent. It had a deep understanding of the planet's ecosystem and could survive where others could not. It hunted with precision, using tactics that were both cunning and brutal. Its knowledge of the terrain and its ability to adapt to the harsh conditions made it an unparalleled survivor. One day, while foraging for food, the Primal Alien came across something it had never seen before: the wreckage of a human spaceship. The alien had encountered similar debris before, but this was different. Among the twisted metal and broken parts, it found something that intrigued it: Ilara. The Primal Alien could sense that this was no ordinary prey. Ilara was frail and vulnerable, a stark contrast to the Primal Alien's powerful presence. Yet there was something in her that caught its attention. It could see that she was struggling, fighting to survive in an environment that was almost as hostile to her as it was to the alien itself. The Primal Alien was a creature of instinct, and its instincts told it that this human was worth investigating. The Primal Alien observed Ilara from a distance, noting her determination and resilience. It saw how she adapted to her surroundings and how she managed to find food despite the odds. The Primal Alien's curiosity grew. Why would this human girl, who seemed so weak and insignificant, be able to endure in such a harsh world? Deciding to approach cautiously, the Primal Alien made its way toward Ilara's shelter. It was not driven by the need for food or domination, but by a sense of intrigue and something deeper, perhaps a primal sense of empathy. As it approached, the Primal Alien prepared itself for a meeting that would change both their lives forever. The first encounter. As the twin suns began to set, casting long shadows across the alien landscape, Ilara was busy tending to her small fire. The flickering flames provided little warmth in the chilly evening air, but it was her only comfort. She was exhausted from another day of searching for food and water, and the sound of the crackling fire was a rare moment of peace. Suddenly, she heard a rustling noise coming from the darkness. Her heart leaped into her throat. Instinctively, she grabbed a nearby piece of metal for defense and tensed, ready for whatever might come. The noise grew closer, and the silhouette of a large figure emerged from the shadows. Ilara's eyes widened in terror as the creature stepped into the light of the fire. It was enormous, easily 8 feet tall, with dark, scaled skin that glistened in the firelight. The creature's eyes were glowing with a golden intensity that seemed to pierce through the dimness. It had long, curved horns and massive claws that looked capable of crushing stone. She stumbled back, her fear overpowering her reason. Who are you?" she managed to gasp, her voice trembling. The creature did not respond. Instead, it stood there, observing her with an unreadable expression. Its presence was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The primal alien took a cautious step forward, its powerful muscles rippling under its scales. It could sense Ilara's fear, but it was not here to harm her. Instead, it had come out of curiosity and perhaps a strange sense of duty. It noticed the girl's fragile state and the meager fire that offered little protection from the cold. Ilara, still holding the piece of metal defensively, took a step back, trying to make sense of what was happening. The primal alien let out a low, rumbling growl, a sound that seemed almost soothing despite its intimidating nature. It then placed something on the ground, a small, strange fruit. It was not something Ilara had ever seen before, but it looked edible. The primal alien stepped back, allowing Ilara to approach the offering. She eyed the fruit warily, unsure if it was a trap. For a moment, she hesitated, but the primal alien's gentle, almost patient demeanor gave her a glimmer of hope. She slowly reached out, taking the fruit in her trembling hands. With a cautious bite, Ilara tasted the fruit. It was surprisingly sweet and refreshing. Her hunger drove her to eat more quickly, and she looked up at the primal alien with a mix of gratitude and confusion. The creature's fierce eyes softened slightly, and it watched her with a sense of quiet satisfaction. Ilara finally found her voice. "Thank you," she said, her voice still shaky but filled with genuine appreciation. The primal alien gave a nod, a gesture that was both simple and profound. It turned and started to retreat into the shadows, leaving Ilara with a new sense of wonder and cautious optimism. The encounter had been brief, but it marked the beginning of an unusual and unexpected alliance. Reluctant cooperation. The next morning, Ilara woke to find the strange fruit from the night before still lying beside her. The primal alien had left it as a gift, and she wondered if it would return. She cautiously ate the fruit, hoping it would give her enough strength to face another challenging day. As the day progressed, she continued her daily routine of foraging for food and water. Every so often, she caught glimpses of the primal alien lurking in the shadows, watching her with its piercing golden eyes. Ilara's fear of the creature slowly began to shift to curiosity. Despite its intimidating appearance, it had shown no signs of hostility. Later that day, while searching for water, Ilara stumbled upon a small rocky ravine. As she carefully approached the edge, she noticed a few plants growing in the shade. They looked promising, but she needed to climb down to reach them. Just as she was about to start her descent, a deep, rumbling growl echoed from above. Ilara looked up to see the primal alien standing there, its gaze fixed on her. The primal alien made a low warning sound, and Ilara realized it was trying to tell her something. She hesitated, unsure whether to trust the creature. But then she noticed something alarming. Loose rocks above her were starting to shift. The primal alien seemed to sense the danger and was trying to prevent her from getting hurt. Understanding dawned on her. With a nod of thanks, she carefully retreated from the ravine. The primal alien watched her with a mix of approval and relief. As she climbed back to safer ground, she saw the creature move toward the ravine's edge, using its powerful claws to stabilize the rocks and prevent a landslide. Ilara's respect for the primal alien grew. It was clear that the creature was not just a fearsome predator, but also a protector of the land it inhabited. That evening, as she sat by her fire, she was surprised to see the primal alien appear again. This time, it carried a bundle of what appeared to be edible roots and a few more strange fruits. Ilara hesitated but accepted the offering. As she ate, she noticed that the primal alien seemed to be waiting for her to finish. It sat a few feet away, watching her with an almost curious expression. She decided to break the silence. "Why are you helping me?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The primal alien made no sound but tilted its head slightly, as if contemplating the question. For the first time, Ilara saw a flicker of something in its eyes, perhaps compassion or a sense of duty. She realized that this strange, powerful being had chosen to help her out of its own volition. The understanding between them, though still fragile, was growing. Over the next few days, their relationship began to shift from suspicion to a hesitant partnership. Ilara started to follow the primal alien's lead, learning more about the harsh environment and how to navigate it. The primal alien, in turn, seemed to appreciate her efforts to adapt and survive. Their cooperation was far from perfect, but it was a start, a beginning of an alliance forged in the harshness of the alien world. The girl's progress. As the days turned into weeks, Ilara's life on the alien planet began to change. Her initial fear and uncertainty gave way to a growing confidence. With the primal alien's unexpected help, she was learning to navigate the harsh environment with more skill. The primal alien had shown her how to find sources of water hidden beneath the rocks and how to identify the few edible plants that could sustain her. Each day, Ilara improved her foraging skills and became more adept at recognizing which resources were safe to use. The primal alien's guidance was invaluable, and she was grateful for its presence. Ilara also began to understand the alien's ways. She noticed that it moved with a grace that belied its size, using its powerful claws to manipulate the environment rather than just brute force. The primal alien had a deep connection with the land, knowing where danger lurked and how to avoid it. Ilara tried to mimic these actions, becoming more in tune with the alien world around her. One day, while gathering fruits from a distant grove, Ilara saw the primal alien approach with a strange metallic object in its claws. It was a part of the wreckage from her crashed spaceship. The primal alien placed it on the ground and gestured to it, indicating that it wanted her to investigate. Ilara picked up the object and examined it closely. It was a piece of advanced technology, something she recognized as part of her ship's navigation system. She had been trying to repair her communication devices, but had little success. The primal alien's gesture was a sign that it wanted to help her with this task. Using her limited tools and the alien's assistance, Ilara worked on the damaged technology. The primal alien watched intently, occasionally offering a clawed hand to help with the more delicate tasks. Together, they managed to get a basic signal back on the device. It wasn't fully functional, but it was a start. The sight of the blinking lights on the screen gave Ilara a renewed sense of hope. Their progress was slow but steady. Each small victory made Ilara more determined to survive and find a way back to civilization. She began to see the primal alien not just as a mysterious creature but as a partner in her struggle for survival. The alien's actions, though often silent, spoke volumes about its intentions and respect for her efforts. As the days passed, Ilara's skills continued to improve. She became more efficient in her daily tasks, and her confidence grew. The once terrifying alien planet was slowly becoming a place she could navigate with greater ease, thanks in no small part to the primal alien's reluctant cooperation and guidance. Ilara's progress was a testament to her resilience and adaptability. With each passing day, she drew closer to understanding both the alien world and her enigmatic ally. The bond between them, forged in adversity, was growing stronger, setting the stage for a future that held both hope and uncertainty. External threats. Ilara's newfound skills and growing confidence on the alien planet were put to the test one fateful day. The alien world was full of dangers, and though she had learned much, she was still vulnerable to the threats that lurked beyond her immediate surroundings. It started with an uneasy silence. Ilara was gathering fruits near a rocky outcrop when she noticed that the usual hum of the planet's wildlife had ceased. The air felt tense, and she could sense something was amiss. She instinctively looked around, her heart pounding with a sense of foreboding. Suddenly, the silence was shattered by a series of guttural roars. Ilara's blood ran cold as she saw a pack of vicious alien predators emerging from the dense foliage. These creatures were larger and more aggressive than the ones she had seen before. Their sleek, sinewy bodies and sharp teeth made them formidable foes. They were closing in on her with alarming speed. Panic set in as Ilara scrambled to gather her things. She knew she had little chance against these predators alone. As she began to retreat toward her makeshift shelter, she saw the primal alien appear from the shadows. It immediately assessed the situation and moved with swift precision. The primal alien roared back at the predators, a sound filled with authority and menace. Its powerful presence was enough to momentarily halt the advance of the creatures. Ilara watched in awe as the primal alien prepared to defend her. It used its massive claws and horns to create a formidable barrier between her and the approaching danger. The predators hesitated, snarling and circling, clearly intimidated but still hungry. The primal alien was not merely a protector, it was a force of nature. It fought with a primal fury, its movements a blur of strength and agility. The clash was brutal, with the primal alien using every ounce of its power to fend off the attackers. Ilara managed to find a safe spot behind a large boulder, her heart racing as she watched the fierce battle unfold. The fight seemed to last an eternity, with the primal alien showing no signs of backing down. Its resilience and skill were awe-inspiring. It seemed to be fighting not just for survival, but to ensure that Ilara remained safe. Eventually, the predators, overwhelmed by the primal alien's ferocity and determination, began to retreat. They backed away, their roars fading into the distance as they disappeared into the alien wilderness. The primal alien stood victorious, breathing heavily but unharmed. Ilara emerged from her hiding spot, her eyes wide with gratitude and admiration. She approached the primal alien cautiously, her voice trembling as she spoke. "Thank you. I wouldn't have made it without you." The primal alien gave a slow, nodding gesture, its golden eyes meeting hers. It seemed to acknowledge her thanks, though it remained silent. The bond between them had deepened through this shared danger. The primal alien had once again proven its loyalty, and Ilara's respect for it grew even stronger. As the sun set, casting long shadows over the alien landscape, Ilara and the primal alien returned to their routine. The threat had been neutralized, but the encounter served as a stark reminder of the dangers that still awaited them. Their fight for survival continued, but with each challenge they faced together, their partnership became more resilient and their trust more profound. The primal aliens passed. As Ilara and the primal alien continued their uneasy alliance, she became increasingly curious about her enigmatic protector. Despite their growing bond, the alien remained largely a mystery. One evening, after a particularly grueling day of surviving the harsh conditions, Ilara decided to learn more about the primal alien. She hoped that understanding its past might reveal why it had chosen to help her. By the glow of the fire, Ilara watched the primal alien from a distance. It was a creature of few words and many actions, and its silence often spoke louder than anything it could say. Tonight, however, she noticed that the alien seemed more contemplative, its golden eyes reflecting the flickering flames. Sensing an opportunity, Ilara approached cautiously. She had learned that the primal alien responded better to gestures and actions rather than direct questions. She gestured toward the fire, and then to herself, inviting the primal alien to sit with her. The creature hesitated for a moment before slowly sitting down, its massive form casting a large shadow in the firelight. Ilara decided to share something personal first. She pulled out a small, worn-out photograph from her pocket, an image of her family from Earth. She held it up, showing the primal alien the faces of her loved ones. The alien's eyes softened as it looked at the photograph, and Ilara sensed a hint of curiosity. After a few moments, Ilara pointed to herself, then to the primal alien, and mimed the action of telling a story. She hoped that by sharing her own story, the primal alien might feel encouraged to do the same. She spoke softly, recounting her experiences of being stranded on the alien planet, her struggles, and her hopes of returning home. The primal alien listened intently, its gaze never leaving her. Once she finished, Ilara waited in silence. The primal alien took a deep breath, a sound that resonated with a sense of ancient sorrow. It began to move its claws in a series of intricate gestures, creating patterns in the dirt. Ilara watched closely, trying to decipher the meaning behind the alien's movements. Gradually, the primal alien's gestures took on a more deliberate shape, resembling a story. Ilara could see images of a vast, lush world, once thriving and vibrant, but now scared and barren. The primal alien's movements spoke of a time before the world became so harsh. It showed scenes of conflict and loss, of its species fighting to survive against overwhelming odds. The story revealed that the primal alien's kind had once lived in harmony with their environment. However, their world had changed drastically due to external threats and environmental collapse. The primal alien had been one of the last of its kind to survive, fighting not only for its own survival, but for the memory of its people and their lost world. Ilara's heart ached as she watched the silent story unfold. She realized that the primal alien's fierce demeanor and solitary nature were born out of deep loss and the need to protect what remained of its world. It had chosen to help her, perhaps because it saw a reflection of its own struggle in her plight. As the fire crackled softly, Ilara reached out and placed a comforting hand on the primal alien's scaled arm. The gesture was simple but filled with empathy. The primal alien looked at her with a mixture of gratitude and understanding. The bond between them was now deeper, forged not only through shared survival, but through the recognition of each other's pain and resilience. The night sky above them was filled with stars, and for a moment, Ilara and the primal alien shared a quiet connection, united by their stories of loss and hope. The girl's growth. With each passing day, Ilara grew more adept at surviving on the alien planet. The harsh conditions and constant threats had transformed her from a frightened survivor into a skilled and resourceful individual. Her bond with the primal alien was stronger than ever, and their partnership had become an essential part of her daily life. Ilara had learned to read the subtle signs of the alien world, recognizing which plants were safe to eat and how to avoid hidden dangers. She could now navigate the treacherous terrain with confidence, her movements more fluid and assured. The skills she had acquired through trial and error, along with the primal alien's guidance, had made her a more capable and independent survivor. One day, Ilara found herself exploring a new area of the planet. She was eager to discover new resources and expand her knowledge of her surroundings. The primal alien had given her a wide berth, respecting her need for space and independence. As she ventured further, she noticed a series of unusual markings on the ground, patterns that seemed to tell a story. Intrigued, she carefully examined the markings and realized they could be a form of communication or a map. Determined to understand their meaning, Ilara set to work. She used a stick to replicate the markings on a larger surface and studied them closely. Her efforts paid off when she noticed a pattern that indicated the presence of a hidden water source. Excited by her discovery, she followed the directions and soon found a small, fresh spring bubbling from beneath the rocks. The discovery was a significant milestone. Not only had Ilara found a new and reliable source of water, but she had also proven to herself that she could interpret and solve the mysteries of the alien world on her own. She couldn't wait to share the news with the primal alien, eager to show her progress and newfound skills. When she returned to their shared shelter, she was greeted by the primal alien, who watched with curiosity as Ilara excitedly described her discovery. She pointed to the markings she had copied and demonstrated how she had followed them to the spring. The primal alien's eyes widened in what could only be described as admiration, and it made a series of approving gestures. Ilara's confidence soared. She realized that she had grown not just in her ability to survive, but also in her understanding of the alien world and its mysteries. The primal alien had been a crucial part of her journey, but she was no longer entirely dependent on it. She had developed her own skills and intuition, proving to herself that she was capable of thriving in the alien environment. As the days continued, Ilara's self-sufficiency became evident in everything she did. She managed to create more efficient tools, improve her foraging techniques, and even start building small shelters with greater skill. Her growth was not just physical but also emotional. She had transformed from a helpless stranger into a resilient, adaptable individual who could face the challenges of her new world with determination and hope. The bond between Ilara and the primal alien remained strong, but now it was one of mutual respect and partnership. They had both learned from each other and grown together. Ilara's journey had taken her from fear to confidence, and the alien world, once a source of dread, had become a place where she could thrive. Increased hostility. As Ilara's survival skills continued to improve, the alien planet's hostility began to escalate. What had once been a series of manageable challenges turned into a series of increasingly dangerous encounters. The planet itself seemed to be reacting to her growing presence, and the threats she faced were becoming more aggressive and relentless. One evening, while Ilara was tending to her new water source, she noticed a change in the atmosphere. The usual sounds of alien wildlife had fallen silent, replaced by a heavy, oppressive stillness. Her instincts warned her that something was amiss. She quickly gathered her things and made her way back to the shelter, her senses alert for any sign of danger. Just as she reached the safety of the shelter, a deafening roar shattered the silence. Ilara's heart raced as she saw a new breed of predator emerging from the shadows. These creatures were larger and more menacing than any she had encountered before. Their eyes glowed with a fierce, predatory hunger, and their sharp claws and teeth gleamed ominously in the dim light. The primal alien, sensing the danger, appeared at her side almost immediately. Its powerful presence and fierce growls served as a warning to the predators, but they seemed undeterred. The creatures advanced, their movements synchronized and deliberate, as if they were testing the strength of their prey. Ilara and the primal alien prepared for another battle. The alien's strength and combat skills were crucial, but Ilara's improved abilities also played a key role. She had learned to use her environment to her advantage, setting traps and using the terrain to create obstacles for the predators. She was more confident in her defensive tactics and worked alongside the primal alien with a synchronized efficiency. The battle was intense. The predators were relentless, attacking with a coordinated ferocity that pushed Ilara and the primal alien to their limits. The primal alien fought with all its might, its powerful claws slashing and its roars echoing through the night. Ilara used every tool and tactic she had learned, her movements precise and determined. Despite their efforts, the predators continued to press their attack. It became clear that they were not merely hunting for food. They seemed to be driven by a more primal aggression. Their persistence and strength were a testament to the planet's increasing hostility. The fight dragged on, with Ilara and the primal alien barely managing to hold their ground. Finally, after what felt like hours, the predators began to retreat. Their hunger had not been satisfied, but they seemed to recognize the formidable resistance they faced. The primal alien and Ilara watched as the creatures disappeared into the darkness, their roars fading into the distance. Exhausted but victorious, Ilara slumped against the shelter's wall. The primal alien approached, its breathing heavy but controlled. It made a series of comforting gestures, acknowledging their shared struggle and the strength they had demonstrated. As the night settled into a tense silence, Ilara reflected on the increased hostility of the planet. The threats she faced were becoming more severe, and it was clear that the alien world was not going to make her survival any easier. Yet with each challenge, she grew stronger and more capable. Her bond with the primal alien had deepened, and their partnership had become even more crucial in navigating the dangers of their environment. The night was long, and the battle had taken its toll, but Ilara knew that as long as she and the primal alien stood together, they had a fighting chance. The planet's hostility was a constant reminder of the perilous world they inhabited, but it also fueled their determination to overcome every obstacle in their path. The turning point. After a series of grueling encounters with the planet's hostile creatures, Ilara felt a sense of mounting frustration. Despite her growing skills and the primal alien's relentless protection, the dangers seemed never-ending. Yet, in the midst of these struggles, an unexpected turning point emerged, altering the course of their battle for survival. One afternoon, while Ilara was exploring a previously untouched part of the planet, she stumbled upon an unusual sight. Hidden among the dense foliage was a strange, ancient structure. The building was unlike anything she had seen before, its surface covered in intricate carvings and strange symbols that seemed to glow faintly in the dim light. Curiosity piqued, Ilara carefully approached the structure, her mind racing with questions. The primal alien, ever vigilant, remained close by. It watched Ilara with a mix of caution and interest. As Ilara examined the structure, she noticed a set of markings that seemed to indicate a pattern or a sequence. With her newfound skills and the knowledge she had gained, she decided to investigate further. Using a combination of trial and error, Ilara began to replicate the patterns on the ground outside the structure. She carefully traced the symbols, hoping to unlock the secrets hidden within. The primal alien observed, its golden eyes focused on her every move. After several attempts, Ilara managed to activate a hidden mechanism within the structure. To her amazement, a section of the building's walls slid open, revealing a small chamber inside. Ilara entered the chamber cautiously, her heart racing with anticipation. Inside, she found an array of ancient artifacts, tools, weapons, and strange devices that seemed to belong to a civilization long gone. Among the items was a device that appeared to be a communication device, intricately designed and powered by a glowing crystal. Excited by her discovery, Ilara carefully examined the device. With the primal alien's assistance, she managed to activate it. To her astonishment, the device projected a holographic image of a map. The map displayed various locations across the planet, including resource-rich areas, safe havens, and even routes through the most dangerous regions. This discovery was a game-changer. The map provided crucial information that could help them navigate the hostile terrain more effectively. Ilara's spirits soared as she realized the potential of this newfound knowledge. With the map, they could plan their movements more strategically, avoiding the worst dangers and locating vital resources with greater ease. Ilara and the primal alien returned to their shelter, the map carefully stored in a secure place. The primal alien's expression showed a hint of satisfaction, recognizing the significance of the find. Ilara felt a renewed sense of hope and determination. The map represented not just a practical tool, but a symbol of their progress and resilience. The turning point had arrived. With the guidance of the ancient map, Ilara and the primal alien were better equipped to face the challenges ahead. The dangers of the alien planet remained, but they now had a fighting chance to navigate its perils with greater confidence. The discovery marked a pivotal moment in their journey, transforming their struggle from a fight for mere survival into a path toward understanding and conquering the alien world's mysteries. The girl's redemption. Ilara's discovery of the ancient map marked a new chapter in her journey. The knowledge it provided about the alien planet allowed her and the primal alien to navigate their environment with newfound confidence. As they explored the map's secrets, Ilara began to see a glimmer of hope that redemption might be within reach. One day, the primal alien led Ilara to a secluded valley marked on the map as a potential safe haven. The valley was lush and green, a stark contrast to the harsh landscapes they had grown accustomed to. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers and the gentle sound of a flowing stream. It was a rare and tranquil place amidst the planet's otherwise hostile environment. Ilara marveled at the valley's beauty, feeling a profound sense of peace wash over her. The sight was a reminder of what she had been fighting for all along, a chance for a better, safer existence. She and the primal alien carefully set up a new camp, taking advantage of the valley's resources. The primal alien showed her how to harness the local flora for food and medicine, and together they built a more comfortable shelter. The valley became a sanctuary, a place where Ilara could reflect on her journey and the trials she had faced. Her days were filled with productive work, improving their shelter, tending to the valley's resources, and mapping out safe routes for exploration. Each task was a step toward redemption, a way of proving her resilience and capability. One afternoon, while Ilara was working near the stream, she encountered a small, injured creature. It was a native species, its delicate wings tattered and its body weak. Ilara's heart went out to the creature, and she carefully picked it up, bringing it back to their shelter. With the primal alien's help, she tended to the creature's wounds, using her growing knowledge of alien plants and remedies. As days passed, the creature began to recover. It became a symbol of hope for Ilara, a living testament to the healing and care she had learned to provide. The bond she formed with the creature mirrored her own journey toward redemption. She had started as a frightened and helpless survivor, but now she was someone who could offer compassion and healing. One evening, as the sun set over the valley, Ilara and the primal alien sat by the stream, reflecting on their progress. The primal alien's gaze was gentle and approving, and Ilara felt a deep sense of accomplishment. She had not only survived, but had also grown into a strong, capable individual who could make a difference in the alien world. The valley, once a symbol of their struggle, had become a place of redemption and renewal. Ilara's journey had transformed her from a lost girl into a resilient and compassionate person. The challenges she had faced and the lessons she had learned had shaped her into someone who could bring hope and healing, both to herself and to the world around her. Building alliances. As Ilara settled into her new life in the valley, she realized that survival and prosperity on the alien planet required more than just personal strength and skill. It was clear that forming alliances with other beings could provide mutual benefits and help secure their future. With this in mind, Ilara began her quest to build relationships with the planet's other inhabitants. Her first encounter occurred when she came across a group of alien creatures near the edge of the valley. These beings were different from the predators she had faced before. They were smaller and had a more peaceful demeanor. They appeared to be gathering food and seemed to be curious about Ilara's presence. Ilara approached them cautiously, her past experiences making her wary. She used the non-threatening body language and gentle gestures she had learned from the primal alien to signal her peaceful intentions. The creatures watched her intently, their eyes reflecting a mix of curiosity and wariness. Over the next few days, Ilara observed the creatures from a distance, trying to understand their behavior and communication. She noticed that they had a complex system of signals and sounds, which they used to interact with each other. With patience and careful observation, Ilara began to mimic some of their sounds and gestures, hoping to bridge the gap between their worlds. One day, as she approached the creatures with some of the food she had foraged, she made an effort to offer it to them in a gesture of goodwill. The creatures hesitated at first, but gradually approached her. They accepted the food and responded with a series of soft, welcoming sounds. This moment of connection was a significant breakthrough. Ilara continued to build trust with the creatures, gradually earning their respect. She shared her knowledge of the valley's resources and how they could benefit from them. In return, the creatures began to help her with tasks around the valley, such as gathering food and protecting the area from smaller threats. The alliance proved to be beneficial for both parties. The creatures' knowledge of the local environment enhanced Ilara's understanding of the valley, while her presence provided them with additional protection and resources. The mutual support strengthened their bond and helped create a sense of community in the valley. Encouraged by this success, Ilara decided to seek out other groups on the planet. She applied the same approach: careful observation, respectful communication, and the offer of mutual aid. Each new alliance helped her build a network of support that enhanced their collective chances of thriving in the alien world. Through these alliances, Ilara discovered that the key to survival was not just in her own abilities, but in the power of collaboration and cooperation. The relationships she built were a testament to her growth and determination, transforming her journey from a solitary struggle into a shared quest for a better future. The valley, once a place of refuge, had become a hub of connection and collaboration, setting the stage for even greater achievements ahead. The New Order. With Ilara's successful establishment of alliances, the valley began to flourish into a vibrant hub of activity and cooperation. The diverse groups of alien inhabitants, each with their own unique skills and knowledge, had come together to form a new and unified community. This transformation marked the dawn of a new order on the alien planet. One morning, as the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, Ilara stood at the edge of the valley, looking out at the bustling scene below. The once quiet and isolated place was now alive with movement. Alien families worked side by side, constructing new structures, tending to crops, and sharing resources. The harmony of their interactions was a testament to the success of her efforts in building alliances. Ilara had organized regular meetings with the leaders of the different groups to discuss their needs, plan joint projects, and address any issues that arose. These gatherings were held in a central area of the valley, where the community could come together and contribute their ideas. The sense of camaraderie and purpose was palpable, and Ilara felt a deep sense of accomplishment in her role as a facilitator of this new order. One particular project captured the community's collective effort: the construction of a communal hub. This structure would serve as a center for trade, meetings, and celebrations. The design incorporated elements from all the different cultures and technologies, reflecting the unity and collaboration that had emerged. Ilara worked alongside the various groups, helping to coordinate the construction and ensure that everyone's input was valued. As the hub neared completion, Ilara noticed a marked improvement in the quality of life within the valley. The community's combined resources and skills led to advancements in technology and efficiency. For example, the alien engineers had introduced new farming techniques that increased crop yields, while the medical experts developed remedies for common ailments using the local flora. The sense of security and prosperity in the valley also attracted attention from other parts of the planet. Visitors from distant regions began arriving, intrigued by the success of Ilara's community. They sought to learn from the new order that had been established and to contribute to its growth. Ilara welcomed them with open arms, sharing her experiences and integrating them into the community. The new order was not without its challenges. Conflicts occasionally arose, and differences in opinion needed to be addressed. However, Ilara and the community approached these issues with open dialogue and mutual respect. They had learned the value of compromise and cooperation, and these principles guided their problem-solving efforts. As the months passed, the valley continued to thrive, becoming a beacon of hope and progress on the alien planet. Ilara's journey from a lone survivor to a leader of a united community was a remarkable transformation. The new order she had helped create was a testament to the power of alliances, collaboration, and the resilience of the human spirit. A new beginning. As the sun set over the valley, casting a warm glow over the bustling community, Ilara stood at the heart of the valley, reflecting on the incredible journey that had brought them to this point. The once desolate place, where she had fought for mere survival, had transformed into a thriving haven of cooperation and prosperity. The new beginning was not just for her, but for everyone who had come to share in this new chapter of their lives. The communal hub, now completed, was a symbol of their collective achievement. Its walls, adorned with symbols from all the different cultures, stood as a testament to their unity. Inside, the hub buzzed with activity, people trading goods, discussing ideas, and celebrating their successes. The sense of community and shared purpose was palpable. Ilara was approached by leaders from the various groups, each of whom had become her friends and allies. They expressed their gratitude for her role in creating this new order and shared their visions for the future. Together, they discussed plans for further improvements and ways to expand their influence beyond the valley. Their discussions were filled with optimism and determination, reflecting their commitment to building a lasting legacy. In the weeks that followed, the valley became a model for other regions of the planet. News of their success spread, and more groups sought to join their alliance or learn from their experiences. Ilara welcomed these new arrivals with the same openness and generosity that had characterized her own approach. Each new addition brought fresh perspectives and skills, enriching the community even further. Ilara also focused on education, recognizing the importance of passing on knowledge and skills to future generations. She and the Primal alien established a learning center within the hub, where individuals of all ages could acquire new skills, learn about different cultures, and understand the history of their collective journey. The center became a place of inspiration and growth, nurturing the talents and aspirations of the community's members. As the first anniversary of their new beginning approached, Ilara organized a celebration to mark the occasion. The event was a grand festival, showcasing the diverse talents and traditions of the valley's inhabitants. There were performances, feasts, and displays of art and technology. The festival was not only a celebration of their achievements, but also a reaffirmation of their shared values and goals. Standing amidst the festivities, Ilara felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The journey that had begun with her isolation and struggle had led to this moment of unity and hope. The valley was more than just a safe haven. It was a symbol of what could be achieved through resilience, cooperation, and compassion. As the night sky filled with stars, Ilara looked out at the faces around her, filled with joy and optimism. The new beginning was a testament to their collective strength and determination. Together, they had turned a challenging struggle into a hopeful future, and Ilara knew that this was only the start of a new and exciting chapter in their shared journey.